Brazil is a country that has been producing world-class strikers for decades, from Ronaldo and Adriano to today's stars like Vinicius Jr. However, among the many talents, there are often players from whom great things are expected, but whose path is far from simple. One of them is Kaio Jorge Pinto Ramos, a Brazilian forward who was labeled a huge talent as a teenager and is now trying to find his place in European football. Who exactly is Kaio Jorge? Why did Juventus believe in him and where is his career today? Let's start from the beginning. Kaio Jorge was born on 24 January 2002 in Olinda, Brazil. Like many Brazilian kids, he grew up with the ball at his feet on the streets. At the age of 6, he began his football journey at Náutico, a club from the city of Recife. In Náutico futsal, starting at the age of 6, he won titles in every age category, scored over 100 goals and served as a captain. There he developed the technique that earned him the nickname Menino de Ouro. After spending 4 years at Náutico, he moved to the city rivals Sport Recife, where he played both futsal and football. As he was considered a prodigy at Náutico and Sport, from a very young age he quickly caught the attention of scouts from Santos, a club famous for developing young stars like Pelé and Neymar. Santos executives discovered Kaio Jorge through a YouTube video filmed and uploaded by his father. After inviting him to Santos for a trial, Kaio impressed the coaches so quickly that they signed him after just 5 minutes. The moment also earned him the nickname Lightning. In Santos youth ranks, he quickly stood out as a complete striker. A strong eye for goal, a powerful shot, solid technical ability, a strong work ethic. In his first year with Peixe, he scored 17 goals in 16 youth matches. At just 15 years old, he matched Neymar as the youngest goal scorer in the Copa São Paulo de Juniores, Brazil's most prestigious youth tournament. He made his professional debut on September 21, 2018, coming on as a substitute for Bruno Henrique in a match against Atlético Paranaense. At 16 years, 8 months and 6 days old, Kaio Jorge became the 6th youngest player to make his debut for Santos. In the 2020 season, Kaio Jorge began to receive more consistent playing time. Although his numbers were not spectacular, he showed clear potential, especially with his off-ball movement and defensive pressing. In 48 appearances, he scored 9 goals, including 5 in the Copa Libertadores. His performances did not go unnoticed in Europe. Several major clubs were monitoring his situation, and in the summer of 2021, a big step in his career followed: a transfer to Juventus. The price, 3 million euros. At that moment, he had scored 8 goals in 28 appearances. For many, this was a clear sign that Juventus saw him as a long-term project for the future. The move to Juventus was supposed to be a turning point, but the reality of European football proved to be harsh. Kaio Jorge entered a squad full of experienced and expensive players, and opportunities were rare, as Juventus' attack consisted of Dybala, Morata, Kane and Vlahovic. In his first season he made just 11 appearances, 9 in Serie A and 2 in Coppa Italia, without scoring a single goal. The biggest blow came in 2022 during a match between Juventus youth team and Pro Patria, when he suffered a serious knee injury, a patellar tendon rupture. This injury is considered even more severe than an ACL tear. For a young striker, such an injury can seriously slow down development, and that is exactly what happened. Even after recovery, his knee could not fully extend, leaving far more long-term consequences than a standard ACL rupture, especially for a player like him who relies heavily on physical attributes. After a long 18-month recovery and missing the entire 22-23 season, Kaio returned, but he was no longer the same player he had been in Brazil. He lacked explosiveness, confidence and consistency. Juventus sent him on a loan to Frosinone to help him regain rhythm and playing time. He played in Serie A but still struggled to find consistency, scoring only 3 goals in 23 appearances for Frosinone. Still, it's important to emphasize that Kaio Jorge is still in his early 20s. Striker often mature later, and his work ethic and physical attributes remain intact. The only question is, will he find a club and system that truly believes in him? Kaio Jorge, A name that once promised European stardom and then silence. Injuries, the bench, doubts. But 2024 brought a new chapter. A return home. A return to Cruzeiro. On May 5th, 2024, Cruzeiro reached the agreement with Juventus for signing Kaio Jorge for 7.2 million euros, the fourth largest income transfer in club's history. Kaio signed a 5-year contract with Belo Horizonte team and took the number 9 shirt. With the arrival of Gabigol, he later changed his shirt to number 19. After a disappointing European stint, Kaio Jorge arrived in Belo Horizonte with a clear goal: to prove that he still belongs at the top of Brazilian football. From the very first round of the season, he became an important part of the team, not just as a striker, but as a symbol of rebirth. In the Cruzeiro shirt, Kaio plays with more maturity, less impulsiveness, more intelligence. His off-ball movement, spatial awareness and composure in front of the goal have restored the fans' faith, showing them a striker who has finally found his peace. In the 2024 season, he played 23 matches, scoring 7 goals and providing 2 assists, proving especially crucial in Cruzeiro's Copa Sudamericana campaign. The 2025 season was even more impressive, and it wasn't just about the stats. It was a season of trust, from the coach, teammates and fans. Every goal was met with relief, every appearance with the message, Kaio Jorge is back. Under the guidance of coach Paulo Autori, Cruzeiro built a team capable of fighting at the top of Serie A, and Kaio became a central figure in that project. His contribution wasn't just in goals, but in how he connected the play. He moved between the lines, created space for the wingers, and displayed a maturity that many didn't expect from someone just 23 years old. The statistics said it all: double-digit goals in the league and several key assists in decisive matches. In the 2025 season, he was the top scorer of the Brazilian Championship, with 21 goals, adding an impressive 8 assists. He scored 3 more goals than De Arrascaeta, who finished with 18, followed by Vitor Roque with 16, and Vasco da Gama duo Ryan and Vegetti with 14 each. He also added 5 goals in 8 appearances in Copa do Brasil. Thanks to him, Cruzeiro stayed in the title race almost until the very last round, ultimately finishing 3rd behind champions Flamengo and runners-up Palmeiras. In the Copa do Brasil, Cruzeiro also had an impressive run, reaching the grand final, where they were only defeated on penalties by the legendary Corinthians. The tragic figure of the shootout was Gabriel Barbosa, aka Gabigol, who missed the decisive penalty with a very poor executed shot. At the end of 2025, Flamengo wanted him for over 30 million euros. That was their 3rd offer, but Cruzeiro reported Flamengo to FIFA for tampering, unauthorized contact, with Flamengo coach Felipe Luis personally pleaded for him. He also turned down 30 million from Zenit because he didn't want to go to Russia. Kaio Jorge is the center forward with more technical, mobile and fast profile, unlike the post center forwards that are majority in Brazil. He is very fast, deadly on counterattacks, effective in finishing, moves well on the field, bothers defenders when building up play with high pressure, has good positioning and good short dribbling. Although he is not physically imposing center forward, he has a good height. Kaio Jorge's story is the perfect example of just how unpredictable the path of young talent can be. From the streets of Brazil and Santos to a big transfer to Juventus, and then the struggle with injuries and the fight to prove himself. Is Kaio Jorge a missed talent or a player who has yet to fully explode? The answer is still far from certain. But we also have to keep an eye on his knee, which is already significantly damaged. Let's hope that injuries will steer clear of this brilliant young talent in the future. But if he continues like this, the question won't be what happened to Kaio Jorge. It will be how far can he go? If you enjoyed this story, like the video, subscribe the channel and leave the comment. Do you think Kaio Jorge can have a serious European career? Let me know down in the comments. And see you in the next video.